Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you one of my days where I go to sketch outside, which is my favorite thing. So I will bring you to the seaside here in the south of Italy where I live, and I will show you my way of sketching natural elements from real references, and I will show you some of the tips on how to collect your references properly, when you should do and when you should not do it, and of course how to sketch it quickly and realistically. Let's jump in. Today I will bring you to one of my favorite places here in Apulia in the south of Italy where I live, and this place is full of sea fennel. It's a typical plant that grows here wildly on the rocks near the sea, so that's what I'm going to sketch today. So I took one of the plants because this plant is very frequent and it's not protected by any kind of laws. I always recommend sketching from life, and I think this is the best exercise if you want to learn how to draw something. But just be careful and respectful towards the nature that surrounds you, and don't take any plants if you're not sure that they're not protected or these are not rare plants. So I go ahead with my drawing and I'm taking care of all the parts of my plant. I already drew the stem and now I'm drawing the upper part of the plant. And then my drawing is ready. Now it's time to paint it. So I brought it to my studio and I'm using three kind of greens here to paint it. So a light green, a medium green, and a dark green. And I'm just gradually building the volume and shape, and I'm starting from light to dark as usual. So it means that I will apply the lightest color first, and then I will add more dark colors gradually so that I don't have to be worried about making a mistake. I know that I can always add more dark and more details later on. So when the basic volume of my illustration is done, I'm adding more and more details with the darkest color. I'm using the dark green color here. When I see that I need to unite something, maybe I see that there are like too much details, for example here on the upper part of the plant, I can unite them a little bit using my medium green color or my light green color. And then when it's done, I'm going and doing the same thing on the leaves. So I'm uniting the leaves a little bit so that they don't look all separate. And then it's time to add more fine details. So I'm using the darkest green color here. I'm making the outlines with the very tip of my brush. I'm very careful because I don't want these outlines to be too thick. So I'm just adding more and more dark details just to have a bit more contrast and give more interest to my illustration. And now I'm adding these tiny spots to the upper part of the plant because that's what I see on my reference. And this will actually make my illustration look a bit more alive. And now I'm outlining each one of these individual round shapes and just adding more details with my thin brush here and there, more darkest details. And now it's time to add final strokes. So this is the time when I see if I want to add any final contrasts. So for example, the most important part of my illustration is this kind of a flower, this upper part of my plant, and I want all the attention to be there, so that's why I'm adding more dark details on this part. And I will add just a few more brush strokes and I think my illustration looks good. Just a few more details to give the illustration more finished look and make it look more realistic, and I think we're done here. I hope you enjoyed watching the process, and this is the final result of this day at the beach. And I just wanted to remind you that your illustrations are not only images on paper, but you can actually use them in so many ways. For example, what I do, I print them and sell them as prints or stickers. So if you're curious about how to transform your hand-painted illustrations into products, I just made a new Skillshare class where I teach you exactly this. So you can check out the link in the video description, and I hope you will experience this magical feeling of seeing your own artwork on real products in real world. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.